What's up, guys? Shulko King here for my first pools battle and team analysis for Good Saturday NJNP's draft tournament. My opponent is Mike WWM8. I don't understand his username, but sure. His team from most threatening to least threatening, as you can see, is Hoopa Unbound, Pelipper, Tangrowth, Goodra with Z moves, Scizor, Mega Swampert, Electivire, and Porygon 2. Now, Hoopa U is just so scary, just because it could be Scarf, could be Specs, could be Banded. Fortunately, it's not Z Snatch where you can get a +2 speed boost, but I gotta figure out what his set is, and then, just because of how slow it is, I feel like I'd be able to work around my way once I figure out what the Hoopa U set is. Pelipper for the rain, which is annoying with Mega Swampert, though Mega Swampert's a little lower just because I feel like I have pretty good checks to it. But Pelipper is a little bit annoying with its flying and ice to take on Dragonite and such. So Pelipper can be a little bit of an issue. Tangrowth's bulky. I do have Victini to take it on extremely well, but otherwise he can just sit there and stall either with AV or physically defensive. So again, got to figure out which spread it is, and then I will have an appropriate counter at that point. Goodra, I expect I'm going to weaken it. It's going to be Assault Vest. I'm going to do enough damage to where something can come in and revenge it. But Goodra has a lot of versatility, but especially in physically attacking, so I got to watch out for that. Electivire is a little annoying, just with the speed, but I have Nidoqueen for that. Dragonite can take a hit and set up on it. Latios takes it on pretty well. Porygon 2 has a weird matchup just because Finny can taunt it. Bulu goes through it. Skarmory can taunt it. Dragonite can somewhat set up on it, not really. Latios can set up on it with Calm Minds if it doesn't have Toxic. So I don't really expect Porygon to. But he could really bring in any of the 8 pokes, to be honest. The 3 Pokemon I feel like have a pretty good matchup against him first would be Mega Latios, just because his team is a lot bulkier. So I feel like I don't need to run a ton of speed to outspeed his entire team, so I can take advantage of either going more bulky or more modest special attack. And I don't take hits too well from like Hoopa, Scizor, but they also have to fear if I'm going to be a special attacking or physically attacking, so that both can do very well. Essentially, if Tangrowth's physically defensive and I'm especially attacking Latios is going to be a problem, and if he's AV Tangrowth and I'm DD, then I can muscle through Tangrowth pretty well with Outrage. So he's got to watch out for that. Really, not a whole lot of his team wants to take a hit from Latios. Dragonite is also an issue, similar because of the dragon typing. Dragonite's a little slower, so I either need a lot of speed, or I can run not much speed and probably still outspeed most of his threats, except for like Hoopa U or Electivire. But once I get a +1 with a Flying MZ, he really has no switch-ins into that. I guess maybe Porygon 2, but I feel like I can get around that otherwise. And the last thing is Tapu Fini has a pretty good matchup, just because it takes Swampert on pretty well. Should be able to live to Earthquakes and do a ton of damage, or even kill it, depending. And I can stall out Porygon 2 if I have Taunt, which is very cool. I handled a Hoopa U pretty nicely, unless he has a Gunk Shot. So I gotta watch out for that, but Finny's a pretty good general switch into Hoopa, though I don't know if that'll be my initial first switch in, just because I know he can run Gunk Shot pretty easily. Here's the team that I have. Oops. So the first Pokemon I have, you know who my last one is. My first is Mega Latios. I have Mech, Special Attack, and the speed is to outspeed Electivire. I won't outspeed a Scarfed, obviously, but I'll be outspeeding anything else with this spread, and I should be able to kill it with Draco Meteor. But Psychic, Draco, handle all his offensive threats pretty well. Hoopa's not going to want to switch in that unless it's like Assault Vest. Tangrowth doesn't want to switch in unless if it's AV. And if it's AV, I feel like I can Toxic and Recover Stop, because it can't Lead Seed me, can't Toxic me, can't do anything like that. Goodras could take a Draco Meteor, but it's probably not going to want to take 2 of them. Really the only thing that handles this set pretty well is the Scizor, but I have ways around that, so I'm not too worried about that. Next I have Dragonite, with not much speed at all. I could have ran speed to like speed tie with Hoopa, But I figured having extreme speed with a Hoopa's pretty low physical defense should be enough. Fly, if I get a Dragon Dance up, he basically has no switch-ins. I get a free kill at that point. I guess you could say Porygon 2 could take it, but again, I have superpower there to take on the Porygon 2, so he's got to watch out for that. Pretty straightforward there. The speed is to outspeed Electivire at +1. Again, not a Scarf Electivire, but just regular Electivire, and I can do decent damage with superpower on it. Next Pokemon I have is Tapu Fini with enough speed to outspeed Hoopa U. So that's nice to get a Moonblast off on it before I get to Gunk Shot or whatever on me. I can take 2 Earthquakes from Mega Swampert, which is very nice, and I have a fast taunt, so stuff like Scizor can roost up on me. Tangrowth can't do shenanigans if it's physically defensive, though I'm not going to stand on Tangrowth. Pelipper can roost or defog. Porygon 2 can't recover. So this is a pretty good stall breaking type set on the team that I have. To round out those 3 threats that I said initially, physically defensive Skarmory takes on the Tangrowth pretty well. Tangrowth's not going to do much to me at all. I can Toxic, Taunt, Roost, stall it. I can take on any physical Hoopa with really no problem. Pelipper can be a little bit of an issue with this set, and like Electivire would be an issue, obviously. I can somewhat Toxic stall to Porygon 2 unless he's like download with Thunder. I also take on a Mega Swampert. Oh yeah, that's a pretty big thing. I can't die to 2 hits from Mega Swampert. I guess if he gets flinches with Waterfall, that would be a problem, but that's why I have Rocky Helmet, so even if that happens, he'll be weak enough where Tapu Fini can revenge it, or the next Pokemon I have right here can revenge it, which is Greninja. Choice Scarfed outspeeds Swampert even in rain, and I kill it with a Grass Knot. So that's very cool. U-Turn also kills the Hoopa U unless it's a very bulky spread. So that's very cool in that regard there. Ice Beam is to hit the Tangrowth. It would to a KO if he's not AV. It hits Goodra, not the hardest, but it hits Goodra at least somewhat. And then Hydro Pump there in the range should do a lot of damage to Electivire, P2, Scizor, and such. And the last Pokemon I have that I revealed before was Tapu Bulu. This is mainly to break down the Porygon 2 if he brings it. It kills the Pelipper. It takes a hit from the Mega Swampert and can kill that with Woodhammer. The last 3 moves are depending, because Tangrowth a pretty good switch in, so I can Toxic it, Protect, stall it out a little bit. Same with Porygon 2, or no, not Porygon 2, I can kill that with 2 Woodhammers anyway, but if he brings Scizor, I can Lead Seed and Protect on that, to stall it down a little bit, wear it down that way, something else my team can take them out. So I'm pretty confident in this team. Let's see how it does in the match. Alright, here we are for the battle against Mike WWM8. As we can see from his team, he did not bring Scizor or Electivire. It's nice he didn't bring Electivire, so you don't have to worry about speed as much. Dragonite will outspeed his entire team at +1 unless he has Scarfers or if Mega Swampert's in rain. Not having Scizor, I guess because I have Victini that can basically take any set on pretty well, except for like Choice Band and Knockoff. But I guess that's why he didn't bring Scizor. But that's very nice for my Skarmory, as that's one less thing that it gets walled by. Nice for my Tapu Bulu, so he doesn't have to worry about bullet punches from Scizor, as well as walling Tapu Bulu pretty well. So right now for my lead, I'm going to just lead with Greninja. Hopefully he leads with Swampert, and I can get a kill with Grass Knot, or he leads with Hoopa, and I get a kill with U-Turn. It doesn't matter if I reveal him Scarfed this early on, I'm fine with that. He leads with the Pelipper, so I figured he just want to get Raina for Mega Swampert. I'm going to U-Turn out of there, and go into my Tapu Fini just to see what he wants to do. He can't do too much to me. Goes for the U-Turn. That's fine, I know he's no attack investment from that damage. Goes into Tangrowth, kind of figure that, so I'm going to go in my counter to Tangrowth, which is Skarmory. He goes for the Lead Seed, so I know he's not a Zoltfest. So that's good to know later on. My Mega Latios should be able to kill it, which is pretty nice information to know. He knocks off my Rocky Helmet, which is a little unfortunate. I can't get that chip on Mega Swampert, but I can live with that. So I'm going to just Roost here. I could have gotten a Toxic off on the Tangrowth, but I figured getting rocks up, getting that early momentum, forcing the Pelipper to defog is good to have. He comes in a Pelipper, again, Tapu Fine's a pretty safe switch into it, and now I have a turn momentum up on him, which is nice. I know that he's damp rock because rain is still up, so that's good. He's going to get worn down because he doesn't have leftovers, and he'll be forced to roost at some point, so he wastes rain turns in that regard. Based on the Moonblast damage, I know he's especially defensive, so I have to watch out for that, but at this point I can kill him with 2 Moonblasts if he ever wants to switch in on my Tapu Fini. So that's nice. He brings in the giant threat, so I'm going to just surf as much as possible as I can because Skarmory is not as helpful because I don't have my Rocky Helmet up, and I'm in the range, so Surf should do a decent amount of damage to Swampert. Based on that damage, he's no bulk. He's either Adamant or Jolly Max, so that's good to know. Go for the Surf. No reason not to try to kill this Swampert. Goodra is a pretty safe, or even Tangrowth a pretty safe switch in on that move, but if I could really weaken the Swampert, that'd be great for my team, because Swampert's a somewhat decent threat. He has the Goodran. He should be able to 2-hit KO me. I do go for the Defog just because I figured Dragonite is going to be pretty good later on in this match. Goes to the Sludge Wave. He can. There's a pretty good chance that I live, obviously based on the damage. But even if I do live, I'm going to be severely weakened for the Mega Swampert. And that's probably something I don't want to happen right now. So I'm going to sag something off my team. And that's probably going to be the Skarmory. Hopefully he goes for the Sludge Wave here. But he goes to the Thunderbolt, which is a good play. But I figured I need to get some chip damage on this because I'm pretty confident. I know he's modest based on this, and I'm assuming he's a max HP Assault Vest. So I need to get some damage off some way in order to Revenge Kill with Dragonite, Revenge Kill with Greninja or Latios. So I'm actually going to go into Latios, assuming he's going to go for the second Thunderbolt to kill me. So I don't really have that great of Thunderbolt plus Sludge Wave switch-ins. Really the only switch-in was Latios, and I would highly assume he's not going to go for the Dragon Pulse, assuming I go into Latios, just because I could have gone into Tapu Bulu there pretty easily. I could have gone into Tapu Fini back there and gone for a Moonblast, so you would have had to watch out for that. So I was pretty confident he was going to go for the Thunderbolt there. I'm going to sack my Latios essentially to get a ton of damage off of this Goodra so I can Revenge Kill it. I knew Latios was going to be pretty good throughout this match, but I figured Dragonite plus Bulu should be able to win late games. That's why I was okay with sacking my Latios here. So I'm going to just go for the Draco, do as much damage as I can. I actually crit him, which it's pretty sucky. It would have been even worse. If I missed, I'm pretty sure I would have lost the game at that point. But by killing it, I don't have to worry about revenge killing it, obviously, which I could have pretty easily. But obviously my Mega Latios is still alive. So that's very annoying for my opponent's team. That kind of sucks, but it happens in this game. So he goes into Hoopa. I'm just sacking my Mega Latios at this point because I figure Dragonite and Bulu can win at the end. And Tapu Fini's healthy enough to take on a Porygon 2 plus the Mega Swampert. But I do find out that he's Choice Scarf Tupa. So that's very good information to know. And he's locked it to a Dark move. So I have a bunch of switch-ins on my team for that. I go into Tapu Bulu, assuming he's got 100% switch into his physically defensive Tangrowth. So I'm going to just go for the Toxic on that. Wear that down throughout the match. I probably should have done that earlier with Skarmory, but I'm fine with that. I'm going to just protect to see what he's going to do. Goes for the knockoff, and I'm very confident he's going to go for the Sludge Bomb here. I really have no switch-ins to that. So I'm going to go with my Greninja, confident he's not going to go for a Grass move. He does go for the Sludge Bomb. He crits Poisons me, which looks pretty bad, and it kind of is, but as long as my Greninja's healthy, I'm okay with that. I do outspeed his entire team, even with Swampert in the rain, so I just really need to be alive, and that's all that really matters with this Greninja set. I do get worn down each turn I'm in with Poison, so the Poison was worse than the crit there, but at least the Grassy Train is helping me out somewhat. I'm only losing 6% as opposed to 12%. So I am going to Ice Beam because I have a pretty good chance to kill the Tangrowth from his range. It's not guaranteed, but I'm pretty sure it would kill with Ice Beam plus Toxic damage. And he doesn't want his Tangrowth to go down because Tapu Bulu would be a huge threat. Dragonite would be a big threat if I didn't have Fly. So he kind of needs his Tangrowth around. So I 2-hit KO to Pelipper, which is very nice with Ice Beam. At this point, he brings in Swampert. I'm not going to be able to kill with Ice Beam, so I'm going to switch my Skarmory to sack it. That's fine. And now I go back into a Greninja, assuming that I'd be able to kill him, because why would I go into this otherwise? I thought he would switch into one of his other 3 Pokemon and get momentum that way, but that is U-turn out, that's fine. And go into my Tapu Bulu, so I can take any hit pretty well. Ice Punch is definitely not going to kill me from this range. And I can kill it in return. Again, Tangrowth switches in pretty well, and he's Rocky Helmet, we find out. It still takes 27% from it, which is crazy from a not even Choice Banded Bulu. But I knew Woodhammer was a no-risk play because I knew he would be taking damage from Toxic. So I'm going to Protect. I know he has Sludge Bomb already, but I can go into Tapu Fini confidently that he's not going to go for a Grass move because Sludge Bomb hits it hard anyway, but it's not going to kill. And there I can do a lot of damage with Moonblast on it. And I'm sure he doesn't want to take that damage again with Tangrowth because he's physically defensive. So he's going to go into his Porygon 2 to take the hit with really no problem. That does not do too much at all. So I'm fine with that. I'm going to go into my Tapu Bulu, assuming he's not going to be able to hit me that hard. He goes for the Ditch Charge, which does not hit me hard at all, but he gets the Para. The Para sucks because he could potentially outstall me because I don't outspeed and can't 2-hit KO him with a Woodhammer. So as we can see here, Woodhammer does 2-hit KO, but he can outspeed and recover stall me potentially, especially with the grassy terrain. He could also stall out my grassy terrain, so Woodhammer is not going to be able to 2-hit KO. So right here I go for the Leech Seed, assuming he's going to recover, but he does not. He goes into Tangrowth. Again, I'm fine with that because I can get some more toxic damage piled up on this. I go for the Protect just to try to stall it out a little bit more. He kills me with Sludge Bomb, which isn't the worst thing in the world, getting the Para there, because I have a free switch into Dragonite, and really nothing on his team can handle Dragonite too well, being with a multi-skill. Now at this point I'm going to go for the Z-Fly. I know he's Rocky Helmet, so he could sack his Tangrowth, I could kill it, but if he gets Rocky Helmet damage, he can revenge kill me with Hoopa, or revenge kill me with a Mega Swampert, or even revenge kill me with a... He can't really revenge kill me with a Porygon 2, but he can revenge kill me with Hoopa with a nice move, or Mega Swampert with a nice move if I don't have my multi-skill. But because I went for the Z-Fly, I don't get hit by Rocky Helmet. I was able to kill it, and I still have my multi-skill, so he's in very bad shape at this point. Especially because right here he doesn't expect a superpower, so I am able to knock it out. And at this point I win the game. I play it a little bit safer in this regard. I guess I could have gone for a differential here, but a win's a win. The differential doesn't matter a ton as long as I can make it to the round of 64. I'm okay with that. So at this point I can sack off my Tapu Fini, kill that, then I go into Greninja. I either kill Hoopa with U-turn, or he switches into Mega Swampert, and at that point I can bring in my Dragonite. Should be able to kill the Dragonite kill the Swampert with my Dragonite, or do enough damage that way Greninja can kill with 2 U-turn on Swampert plus the Hoopa. So as we see in this matchup, I go into Fini, as I said before, sacking it to the Gunk Shot, which I knew he had. So that's fine. Going to Greninja, he's either forced to go into Swampert or let me kill his Hoopa, which he's not going to want to happen. So I go for a U-turn here and go into Dragonite. The only way I could lose this game is if he Ice Punches and freezes me. So that's why I'm going to go for the Extreme Speed to get that chip damage off, so a Greninja can kill with 2 U-turns. The Ice Punches does not kill me, and I can kill him with Extreme Speed at this point. And then on the Hoopa, again, go for the Extreme Speed. If he's like a bulky spread, by any chance Hoopa could live a U-turn from full. So want to ensure that damage that Greninja is going to win 100% here. So my Dragonite goes down, I go for the U-turn, and I do win the match 1-0. The crit on the Goodra was unfortunate. but I felt like I was still in pretty good shape just because my Greninja was basically able to revenge kill anything on his team, especially because I had Ice Beam, so Ice Beam would have been able to kill the Goodra after the chip damage from a normal Dragon Meteor from Latios. But good game, Mike. Hopefully, if I get one more win, it's probably not guaranteed just because I only got a 1-0 differential. I probably want to win the last 2 games to ensure that I make it to the next round. But let's see if I do. I'll see you guys next time.